Are you a collector, a stacker, or an investor? Let's find out. Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? This is Silver Husky. Welcome to the channel, welcome to the show, and if you're new, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell for all the latest content. So as you saw in the little intro, today's video is going to predominantly be focusing on the different kinds of people that pour into this community, right into the metals markets. So we have several different types, and it's important to talk about all of them, but also recognize that you can overlap in between, and you can even evolve from one to the next, and it's not saying any one of them is better than the other. First off, I want to talk about the collector, also known as a numismatist. This is often somebody who collects old coinage, right? American history, things like that. So this one right here being a cap bust $1/2 from 1823. This is something that a numismatist would have their eye on. And obviously much more expensive pieces as well, much more harder to find pieces. But the allure behind being a collector is finding something that there are not a whole lot of them out there. And it's specifically finding something in the highest grade possible. As you can see here, the grade on this is not the best. It is a very nice coin, but it is not the best. So collectors might be eyeing something a little bit better than this. But it doesn't mean that old coinage is the only way to go. You can also consider something newer. For instance, this Black Panther piece, right? It is 1 ounce, 3/9 fine silver, and it is very modern. And somebody may have bought tubes of these because this was their favorite, their favorite Marvel character when this coin came out. However, as you know, Chadwick Boseman passed away recently, and that coin's value skyrocketed. Another piece for your consideration is the Fafnir, and not just the silver bullion Fafnir, right? That's the 1 ounce. There were other ones that came out, including they call this the purple Fafnir, or the chameleon Fafnir. Now, this one came out at a lower introductory price, but it is impossible to find at this point. So a collector would probably want to add this to their collection. Although some collectors might say it's garbage and don't even waste your time or money on it. Here's another one, the Colossus of Rhodes. Again, this is a round. It is not even a coin, just like the Germania Fafnirs. It is not a coin. It is a round. And people still want them due to low mintages and, added hype or hyperbole behind them. Yes, you might find that it could be worth its value and it might not. The second kind of contributor to this community is a stacker. Now, stackers, and a lot of us do consider ourselves stackers as well, their number one mission is to pile on as much of the metal as they can, whether it's gold, silver, platinum, doesn't matter. And they're typically looking for it at the lowest price possible. So they might go for constitutional silver. They might also go for generic bullion rounds. And they might do a combination of both. Like if you can pick up a collector's piece, then hey, pick up a collector's piece at a low price. However, your number one goal or mission is to put on as many ounces of the metal as you can. So nothing wrong with that. I think that's great. And of course, this is wealth preservation. Maybe the speculation that perhaps one day something may happen to the dollar, or it could be, maybe they just want to pass it on to their children. Same thing with a collector's piece. You'll want to pass these on to your next generation and the generation after. And the value behind that is you're actually teaching the next generation about these pieces, about this industry, right? But that's a one-on-one teaching. You're teaching a friend or a family member. Now, the third kind of person, the third one is an investor. I got to make room for this one. So investors can be investors in the paper bullion or the paper market for the metals, right? Paper metals market, or the physical bullion investor. Those are very different. Now, I'm not going to talk about the paper markets because that's different, right? That's totally different than what we're talking about. You won't typically find too many people in the YouTube sphere talking about the paper metals markets. However, we do talk about physical. And the reason I bring that up for investment, the reason I say that is an investor actually has a great value to add to the marketplace. When they see a good deal or a good bargain, they typically buy them up so that when somebody is looking for it down the road, not only will they be able to sell it to them? But they'll be able to sell it to them at the premium that it deserves. Now, you might call that, price hiking or price gouging. I don't see it that way. I see that as, true capitalism in its truest form. When there's a limited supply of an item, you don't want to be shortchanging it. You want it to maintain its high value, because if you buy something for cheap, when it comes time to sell it, you're only going to be able to sell it for cheap, because things will only have the value that someone else places on it. So, with that said, I think it's very important that collectors and investors and stackers, when they make their videos, they do add excitement behind the item. Of course, we want to bring in as many people to the community as possible, because we don't ever want one of these industries, such as the metals market, to fade. I'll give you a great example. Imagine if the excitement faded out in metals, such as it did in the Beanie Babies market, right? And believe it or not, Beanie Babies had its own market. Maybe not, trading on the on the NYMEX or whatever, but it did have a place, right? And they did carry premiums to those Beanie Babies, until all of a sudden nobody cared anymore. Stamp collecting, it's going down the same route, right? And metals always will retain some level of their true value, because they do have silver inside of it. But this is an art piece. So I think it's okay to speak highly about an art piece, right? And give it the attention and the value that it deserves. But whether you are a investor, a stacker, or a collector, it's all okay. And if you overlap between all three of them, like I do, that's totally fine. And we welcome you to the community, and we always want to educate as best we can. And please note that I am not a financial advisor. I am merely a YouTube personality who's sharing what I've learned along the way. I don't claim to be smarter or better than anyone else. And you'll see that in any of my live streams. You'll see that I make mistakes just like anyone else does. I probably already made 3 mistakes in this video, and you guys will call me out on the comments section below, and that's totally fine. But you are all welcome into this community, and we love sharing our information with you. And so leave me a comment in the section below. Let me know, are you a collector? Are you a stacker? Are you an investor? Or are you some combination of all three? But anyways, guys, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell. We'll see you guys real soon.